Welcome to the explainer for Shadows of the Silver Soul. Today we're unpacking a seriously haunting, rain-soaked tale of ancient curses, family secrets, and tragic romance, all set deep within the dead forests of a little town called Black Hollow. So, let's jump right into exactly how this story builds its dread and deep emotional stakes. Okay, let's start with a psychological hook. We're introduced to Bunny. He's a tired, skeptical young guy who is plagued by this terrifying recurring nightmare. He dreams of a pale girl in a wet white dress, whispering a desperate plea. Find me before he does. It's a completely chilling hook that immediately pulls us and Bunny into the mystery. Moving right into our first chapter. Welcome to Black Hollow, the skeptic and the ghost. So, Bunny has just returned to his late mother's house on Raven Street. And this is in a town where children are warned away from the woods, and the birds literally never sing after sunset. Now, at just 26 years old, Bunny is an absolute skeptic who rejects ghost stories. But his rational worldview shatters completely when the haunting becomes undeniable. We're talking lights flickering at exactly 3:13 a.m. and muddy footprints inexplicably appearing right outside his bedroom door. It's a classic horror buildup, moving perfectly from the psychological space of his dreams right into physical reality. Well, this escalation pushes Bunny to actually visit the local cemetery, where he finally meets the girl from his dreams in person, a ghost named Aurora. But they definitely aren't alone out there. In that graveyard, they face an immediate monstrous threat, the Shadow Priest. Imagine a towering entity with glowing red eyes and black blood. 70 years ago, he traded human souls for immortality, and he is the exact reason Aurora's soul is tragically trapped between life and death. Which brings us to our next section. The bloodline curse revealed. Sins of the grandfather. After barely surviving a terrifying chase with the priest, Bunny and Aurora flee to an abandoned cabin. And this is where we uncover the generational nightmare tying Bunny's family directly to this supernatural terror. Turns out, 70 years ago, Bunny's own grandfather helped the priest sacrifice Aurora, prompting her to curse their bloodline. Then, 19 years ago, Bunny's father vanished while trying to break that curse and save her. It really highlights a tragic theme we often see in these types of stories, the inescapable weight of generational debt. Bunny's arrival in Black Hollow was absolutely never an accident. Naturally, this revelation drives Bunny to search his childhood home for answers, specifically looking for his missing father's old diary. But the horror comes right to his doorstep. The suspense absolutely peaks when the lights suddenly go out in the house, and out of the darkness, a sound begins. Heavy, wet footsteps descending into the basement. Thump. Thump. The overwhelming smell of rotting flesh is rapidly filling the air, and the tension is just incredibly high. Aurora desperately warns Bunny not to go down there, but driven by the need for truth, he ignores her and steps right into the dark. Thump. When Bunny sweeps his flashlight across the room, the beam hits something completely horrifying. It's a massive, blood-soaked ritual symbol carved into the floor. And sitting in the corner, a gray, rotten figure wrapped in chains slowly lifts its head. And here is the real gut punch. This horrific encounter reveals that the chained ghoul in the basement is actually Bunny's missing father, his soul trapped by the Shadow Priest. It draws this terrifying, tragic parallel. The father tried to save Aurora and was turned into an undead monster, and now the son, Bunny, is burdened with the exact same impossible task. It visually and narratively cements the deadly path he's now walking. To make matters worse, complicating this task is the immense emotional weight of a chilling warning found right in his father's diary: do not trust the girl in white. This creates such an intense emotional conflict for Bunny, because he is actively falling in love with Aurora, a ghost who isn't just a victim, but the very architect of his family's doom. Let's move into the climax, the underground ritual. An impossible choice. Driven into the deep underground tunnels beneath the ruined church walls, Bunny finds his answers in an ancient ritual chamber where dead spirits and black smoke trap our heroes. He discovers the sacred relic, a glowing silver dagger hidden behind a black altar that's capable of destroying cursed souls forever. But the moment he touches it, the trap springs. The Shadow Priest summons himself, taking on a horrifying, towering form made entirely of bone and darkness. Now, the crucial point of this entire narrative is the devastating ultimatum the priest presents right in this moment. You see, Aurora actually carries half of the Shadow Priest's soul. That means killing the priest with a dagger will instantly destroy Aurora. But failing to kill him means the agonizing death of the entire town of Black Hollow. Bunny literally has to choose between saving innocent people and saving the ghost he loves. The choice is agonizing, but it's Aurora who makes the ultimate sacrifice. With a heartbreakingly cold, sad kiss, she commands Bunny with 2 words: end this. Bunny strikes the Shadow Priest with the dagger, and the result is a deafening explosion of black fire. The monster is completely destroyed, and Bunny watches as Aurora, the girl he loves, turns into vanishing silver light. Let's look at the aftermath in our final chapter, A Love Beyond Death. 3 months later. Following that explosive sacrifice, the terrible storms over the town finally break. 3 months later, Bunny visits the peaceful, fog-covered, moonlit lake where he and Aurora used to sit. And through the fog, he is miraculously reunited with her. It turns out, some love stories really don't end with death. When Bunny holds her hand this time, it isn't cold like a ghost's, it's warm. Her soul has been fully restored to life, completely freed from the curse and the Shadow Priest's grasp. It is a beautiful, triumphant resolution to such a dark tale. But wait just a second. Deep in the forgotten woods, far away from the reunited lovers, a familiar pair of glowing red eyes awakens in the dark. It leaves us with one final, chilling thought to ponder. Is the nightmare truly over, or has the cycle simply reset? Thanks for joining me on this explainer of Shadows of the Silver Soul.